Looks like Timaeus isn't here today. Customers? Oh, pardon me. Are you looking for Timaeus? No. Just strange for him to not be around. Paimon always sees him standing here. I see. He was called away by Albedo a little while ago. I'm Sucrose, Albedo's assistant. If you have any alchemy-related queries, you could always ask me. I do my best to help. My apologies. I don't get out too often. If you need any help, just call my name. If not, I'll be reading a book. Thanks. No worries. We're all clued up on the basics of alchemy, aren't we? Hey. Aren't you the legendary traveler? The one who repelled Storm Terror? I've heard so many stories about you. Always wanted an opportunity. What do you mean, research? Sorry, don't mind me. Still, you'd definitely be able to help Albedo. There's that name again, Albedo! Is he also an alchemist in Mondstadt? Apologies, I never introduced him. Albedo is the Knights of Favonia's chief alchemist. But Paimon's only ever seen Timaeus teaching alchemy. So that means Albedo is a teacher? Yes. He's dedicated himself to investigating the truth of this world. We often get alchemists coming to Mondstadt from all over Teyvat, seeking his help. They say that the subtlest of guidance from Mr. Albedo. Wow! Paimon didn't know he was such a big deal. Still, it seems that he's encountered a problem in his research recently. Every time I see him, he has a concerned look on his face. I'm sure that Albedo would love to hear about your incredible exploits. I know it. Albedo is a true gentleman. He'll be sure to pay you back in equal measure for helping. I don't see why not. Testing the limits of living beings' capabilities? Albedo and Timaeus will be conducting research in the mountains right now. I'd love to take you both to see him. I'm afraid you'll have to go to the entrance to the pass and look for him by yourselves. Look out for a refined gentleman with the presence of a... Sorry. That's the best I can do. Hey, stop worrying. We got this. Sucrose is a whole lot less nervous once she gets talking about alchemy and research, huh? Is that what all researchers are like?
I've told you already, I don't go in for that kind of thing. I've got more important...
But this event has commemorative significance. The church hopes that all sisters...
Hopes? That's odd, because I don't recall a fulfill the hopes of others clause in my job description.
I mean, sure.
But what? You're the event organizer, aren't you? Do you not...
What do you mean?
This far out from Mondstadt at this hour? Even if you set out right now, I'll wait. Who knows? Maybe this is someone's grand plan to...
Huh? Well, that can't be.
Evidence decides what people are like, not your feelings. Don't fret. Nobody's gonna blame you if you go back empty-handed. I can't imagine anyone else was delusional enough to think I was gonna But if you dally any longer, you really won't make it.
You're right. It's a very important commemorative event. If I'm late, then... right, I've got to get going. Seems like that sister's an expert in making people...
I thought I heard something. Who are you and why are you eavesdropping?
We'd better watch out. She seems like a dangerous villain. Or a trickster at best.
Oh, really? I'm a member of the long-standing Favonius Church. You're an eavesdropping pixie from who knows where. And you think I'm the—
Wait, she heard that? But Paimon was whispering so quietly.
And as for this outlander you seem to be following, the honorary knight that saved us from storm terror. Well then, otherwise, depending on your answer, I could have arrested you on the spot.
What? Do the Sisters of Mondstadt have the authority to arrest—
We can't go turning a blind eye to hidden dangers, can we? Why shouldn't sisters have a sense—
That doesn't sound right. But Paimon can't think—
Let's talk about you. What are you doing in the mountains? If it's him you're after, I made a point of noting his tracks. Many people have made their way up after the snowstorm. Let's hope—
So, are you also looking for him?
No, this is just a professional habit of mine. I sensed elemental traces in these tracks. Never hurts to be vigilant. I couldn't care what you think. Come on then. I'd like to see what he's up to anyway.
Rosaria said there were elemental traces in the tracks. They should show up pretty clearly with elemental sight.
Another
Is
test
this
subject.
an answer from this world?
Fry.
Want a taste of my...
You're toast!
Freeze!
You're in for a little shock. You're in for a little shock. You're in for a little shock.
Dodge this!
Out of the frying pan, into the fire!
We got careless. Picked the wrong test subject. Picked the wrong test subject.
You know, little pixie, your ability to appear and disappear at will is very interesting.
Yeah?
After committing a crime, you'd be able to leave the scene without a trace.
You're so suspicious. Why is Paimon a criminal and... It's getting colder and colder. Rosaria, aren't you freezing?
Me? I'm all right. I got used to operating in adverse conditions a long time ago.
Huh? Seems like there's more to being a sister in the Favonius Church than Paimon realized. Race you! Is that Albedo? Why would he hang around a place?
The word on the street is he loves painting. He'll hang around anywhere for a good landscape. The views and scenery here are pretty good. Potential paintings everywhere you look.
But can't he see those hilly churros? Is it... Uh-oh. Looks like we startled them. Enough talk! Let's take them out of the picture first!
Who are you? Why did you alarm them? Thank the gods I'd already completed my painting. Would have been a shame to leave these particular hilly churls unfinished.
What's up with painting hilly churls? What makes them so
I'm afraid the answer isn't easy to explain. If you'd like to have a look at my painting, it may give you a clue.
Wow! Look at the detail!
You can find these hilly churls anywhere. Quite boring, in fact. Not worth closer inspection. But take a look at this specimen. The build, the coat, In the cyclical lives of such primitive communities, such unique attributes are an indication of evolution at work.
Hold your horses. Something tells me we're in for a thesis and I haven't got... We found your man. I'm headed back.
What? Don't you have any questions for him? Hey! What a weirdo.
So Sister Rosaria brought you. Surprising. And I didn't have time to thank her. But back to the point. From her words, it seems that you were looking...
We met a girl in Mondstadt, Sucrose. She said you were stuck with your research.
I see. So Sucrose sent you here. Then, if I'm not mistaken, you must be the honorary knight. I've heard a bit of everything. Your actions during Storm Terror's attack, your elemental control... I'll skip to the conclusion. There's only one possibility after all. You came from afar. Excellent. If I could procure your assistance, I think my research would be... forgive me. This must be confusing.
Whoa. You want to start with that?
You're right. Giving a demonstration... For example, awakening life. Breathing new life into fallen leaves.
You can do that?
However, I have a particular seed in my possession. The method it's like you, in that it hails from another world. Helping it to grow, to bloom. That's...
Well, if you're struggling to figure it out, Paimon's not sure we're gonna be
I beg to differ. I'm unable to comprehend the intricacies of life out, but you're not from the known world. By observing and researching you, I may just be able to...
Shall we just get out of here? This sounds a little freaky.
It's possible. But I will do everything in my control to... Time for a change of surroundings. We should be going.
Albedo and that traveler seem to have hit it off. Takes a weirdo to know one, I guess. I wonder, does this constitute a risk to Mon?
Has a question. After the seed sprouts, will it...
I don't know. But I feel the importance will lie in the method, not the... Using alchemy to awaken otherworldly life into that would constitute a big leap in my understanding. After awakening, even creation may be possible. Still a little difficult.
No! Paimon's got a brain! But what's the seed gonna become? Isn't that more interesting than whatever it was?
Well, if it turns out to be a delicious fruit, dinner's on me.
Yay! Paimon's holding you to it.
Well, let's just say I, occasionally have to look after a child. Another lengthy explanation, I'm afraid. I suppose it's one... The subject of my first research was the elements. In this world, manipulating the elements requires a vision. How you're able to freely manipulate elemental power is something I'd like to ascertain. I've got... Firstly, do you have any extra organs? A second heart? A fourth stomach? Fascinating. And this floating child...
What a stupid question! Can't you see the gap between us? And another thing, it's Paimon, not floating child.
I was merely considering the possibility that you were an external organ. Perhaps there is some invisible force connecting you. Oh, that rules out that possibility. But that would mean that Paimon's elemental power would be enough to break through a mountain rock at least 10 meters thick, or cause the waterfall south of Springfield. No, that definitely can't.
Hey! How would you know any any...
In that case, it would appear that there's no obvious difference between the composition of your... Given that there's clearly a discrepancy in the research, it seems that only experimentation... Firstly, this mysterious elemental power. I'd like to examine exactly how it Let me lure a few slimes to the area. Perhaps you'd be able to defeat them.
Huh? Doesn't seem...
Direct and clear observation are imperative to a good experiment. This is naturally if you require a greater challenge.
Slimes! Slimes are fine!
Well, prepare yourself. The slimes will be here any moment.
Nice and spicy!
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah! Boba, get them! Eat this!
You're in for a little shock.
Huh?
Hip, dick, yeah. Hup, hup, hup. Hip, dick. Hup, hip. Come a little closer. Hip. Let's spark things up a little.
Freeze!
You're in for a little shock. Yep.
Hit!
Great work. Did you feel anything out of the ordinary? If you're injured, I have a few emergency potions ready. Excellent. According to my observations, the manifestation of the external elemental flow is as expected. Now that we know that the external flow is manifesting normally, let's test the
Internal flow?
It's very simple. I can use alchemy to create a potion that will extract. If the elemental power is stored or accumulated physically within your body, this potion may elicit an elemental reaction.
Sounds kinda terrifying.
Don't worry. In the normal course of events, you'd feel some temporary queasiness. No bodily injury.
And in the abnormal course of events?
If anything unexpected occurs, I've made the necessary preparations. Try not to worry. Well, it's not that there aren't any risks involved. But if there is anything blocking your elemental, just a warning. If an internal elemental reaction occurs for any other reason, yes, that's an excellent way to think about it. Before we get started, the potion we'll use for the test it's a type of ore known as star silver. But unfortunately, not all of it. I'll take you to my campsite. We can gather some star silver ore on the way. I'll point out it all going to plan. We should be able to begin concocting the potion.
Paimon's still got a few safety concerns, but it seems like they're... Let's keep our eyes open.
Here. Should do for catalyst purposes.
Come a little closer.
Boba, get them!
Come a little closer.
Race!
You're in for a little shock.
This one. Usable with a bit of polish. What luck. This should be enough. My campsite is just up ahead. I'll lead the way. This is my campsite. I've added the materials we collected to the concoction. While we are waiting, have a look over here. My assistant Timaeus here is helping me with my research.
Hello! I've just gotten hold of the data from your experiment.
Whoa! Look at all the data! You got...
I wouldn't call them results, inferences, and a few I think the most rational direction would be to expound on the phylogenetic relationship between this consider. You don't have a vision, but you can manipulate elemental energy. Following this line of thought, I'm sure we'll be able to...
Not bad for a point of entry. But strictly speaking, slimes are elemental life forms. A cryoregisvine, or even a whopperflower might be a better analogy. But tracing back the phylogenetic relationships between plants and in that sense, things might get difficult.
Yes, sir. That sounds...
After all, we've got our primary data already. This traveler is if it turned out that she did have a phylogenetic relationship with this world.
Ah, it would. Apologies. I was so... Speaking of data, to complete our research, we'll need some more. I'll be conducting analysis here for the time...
Great. I'll leave you to it. Looks like the potion's ready. I'll try a little... In line with my expectations. Ready to drink. Remember to keep calm at all times, and breathe deeply if you feel unwell.
Tasty? You've got a funny look on your face. You said you tried some already. You sure it was ready? What's happened to her?
Oh, this was the result I was expecting. And a very positive. This potion channels elemental power into the body under normal circumstances. But if the internal elemental flow is unimpeded, you'll only experience momentary discomfort.
So you knew you'd be sick and still drank some?
It was my own concoction, of course. Only natural for me to be the guinea pig. But of course, you're my assistant. By all sense in conclusion, I'd say we have our conclusion. As far as elemental energy is concerned, you're no different.
Aw, Paimon wanted something cooler to happen.
Then again, better an ordinary result than a peculiar result. Peculiar results have a tendency to be of the undesirable variety. The good thing about ordinary is that everything is an object of reference, and people are the same. They can understand, empathize, encourage, and support. When you're sick, a doctor can diagnose you because they are you. When something goes wrong, you can ask people who've made the same mistake for their experience because you are but a peculiar person. They don't have much recourse for the things we take for granted. The essence, for example, a human can't understand the life of a pyroregisvine or an eye of the storm. To sum up, this has been a positive outcome. Going forward, Timaeus, the results of the new experiment are out. If you...
Just a moment, sir. I'll handle it. You gave me a lot to consider. Really stretched my limits. I'm thinking a lot clearer now. Having you down as an animal wasn't very precise of me, but starting with the premise of an elemental life form? Now that...
Not bad. I think it's an interesting line of inquiry. Whatever the truth of the matter, I'd like your research at the fore as opposed...
You can count on me, sir. I'll extract a result satisfactory to all.
Is he trying to join the Knights? He's starting to sound like a suck-up. What Paimon meant to say was, that's the spirit?
Before we can proceed with our research, I need to... If you're interested, why not have a look around? It may help to pass the time.
Albedo. Let's go see him. Race you!
I'm back. Did you see anything interesting? Agreed. I'd love to find a moment to put them all in order. Well, on with the research. There may be significant differences between different worlds. Take Tevat, for example. Here, those with visions, but worlds may well exist where only one person is able to do so. Or even everyone. So, leaving elements to one side. I think answering this question calls for the same methodology as last time. In other words, No. You shan't be Now, see this pillar here? Use your willpower to try and break it. That was your best effort?
What's with the disappointment? Isn't that like
Have you tried using your elemental power with food? I don't mean for cooking as such. I'm curious to see how the taste and texture respond. It may even help with proliferation. I suppose I have a curiosity for things that others... Anyway, why don't you cook us up a sunshine sprat? I've just finished preparing the recipe.
cooking? Paimon was looking forward to more mad science.
Not only is this recipe a staple for me, it's also worth experimenting with and highly nutritious.
Paimon bets you're just hungry. That does sound yummy, though. Okay, Paimon Good buddies are always on the same page.
I'll leave you to it then. Looking forward to the results. If there's anything left over, maybe Timaeus can finish the last more.
Paimon doesn't think we'll have that problem. How are we gonna channel elemental power into the food? Maybe try the willpower thing again. Where does it get these ideas from?
That was fast. Looking forward to taste. An average outcome experimentally, but you've really brought out the flavor. As far as the proliferation hypothesis is concerned, we've come up short. Seems like food presents this... Unless... Could it be that the natural laws of this world...
We just didn't know how to channel elemental power into the food. It's a little more complicated than adding herbs and...
Not to worry. At least we put some food to good use. No need... And here's your portion. Enjoy. I can box it up if you like.
Woohoo! Thanks! Glad you were paying attention.
I can tell that you're good friends. Paimon was keeping an eye on you and your safe. Not that Paimon would have been able to do much if things had gone wrong.
Hey! You were being nice a sec, but you do have tasty recipes, so... And you're right, we are good friends. You have good friends too, right?
Yes. I'm fortunate too, I suppose. There are all manner of alchemical items here. Keeping them in their proper place is a challenge at the best of times. I managed to retrieve the majority, but 2 vials have been evading me. Animal crystal fly elemental extract.
Paimon's barely finished eating and you want us to go gathering again?
Don't worry if you can't locate them. I was planning to replace them anyway. If you had, say, superpower, like night vision or vibratory sensing, I must have dropped them somewhere in the area where you were looking just now.
So, guess we'd better take a look. Oh yeah! You could use elemental sight! This must be electrohypostasis powder! The extract of an animo crystal fly can only be animo elemental energy, right? This has gotta be...
Goodness, you managed to find them. I'm wondering, this elemental sight...
Yep, guess it does sorta count as a
Unfortunately, though elemental sight is seldom seen, only a never-before-seen otherworldly power would...
You mean, we failed again?
Don't be disheartened. This falls entirely within my expectations. Besides, getting these items, I have to commend your deduction that the items would contain elemental traces. Right then. Up until now, our research has focused on your otherworldly identity. Our research on, in essence, the differences between humans are reflected in our intellectual and physical. Looking out from where we're standing, can you see what Sucrose is doing? And if you jump from here and landed on that cliff, the one over there, could you see her there? So what about if you planted a single blow on the mountain face here, and it burst into a Then I shouldn't get too excited. Still, I know of a location that will be perfect for a physical test. Please, follow me.
Still in one piece! Good thing the vial's so strong! You want us to jump from up?
Not necessarily. Not if you know of a better method, that is. Whichever method you choose, the experiment will end when you reach the opposite shore of the lake. I will factor the time expended and your top speed into my comparative analysis.
The opposite side of the lake. So, we're gonna be swimming?
Without limitations, we complete tasks intuitively, using the method that seems most rational. Some of us would be unable to stand the icy waters. Others might find the whole thing. No matter what choice you make, it's all a part of the experiment. For me, every detail is invaluable to the research. Then if you would, please, I eagerly await the...
Wait a minute! While we're busy testing, what exactly are you gonna be doing?
Me? Recording data, responding to risks, providing, emotional support.
So if we do decide to go swimming, you gonna dive in with us?
No. Unless you're thinking of conducting competitive research?
Oh! Forget Paimon said anything.
Great work. I've never seen a performance quite like it. Your reputation precedes you, traveler. The data shows that you're easily out.
But you followed us the whole way without breaking a sweat!
Me? Actually, I used alchemy to cheat a little. But if it turns out that the natural laws of Tavad do not affect you, I should be able to make various inferences. If the natural laws of Tavad do affect you, then I shall be able to make inferences into the innumerable possibilities that this could present, the captivating insights. It would be something to savor again.
But how does this help your research?
You've helped me to unravel many of the problems that were holding it back. When we return to the campsite, I should be able to show you something interesting. I may be about to make some analogies between you and a few unusual specimens. Gold, petrified trees, a sun 8 times the size of our own. The essence of the investigative process is enthralling, but such feelings are. I'm willing to pour all my energy into research, and yet specimens are finite. As the unknown transitions into the realm of scientific understanding, all these things that start out as objects of fascination end up possessing the prosaic mundanity of a sunsettia or a sweet flower.
Oh, so that's why you wanted to paint those hilly turtles? Because you got to see something new and interesting in the differences?
Precisely. To quote my exact words from earlier, these creatures are, for the most part, quite boring, not worth closer inspection. There is...
So after all these experiments, are we gonna be, like, boring to you? Like some base?
Of course not. You have been of great assistance to me. And now, before we head back to the campsite, there's one more experiment. Follow me. There are some other ruins nearby.
Race you!
I imagine you must have encountered more than a few conundrums during your travels. I'd like to observe your intelligence by means of a practical test of your capabilities. Much as I'd like you to explore these ruins and return with your findings. There are 2 puzzles located at the far ends of the ruins. After completion, you should be able to activate the mechanism in the center. As with the physical test, there are no restrictions. Everything you do is an action I wish to observe. A tried and tested adventurer, I see. So, let's see you in action. Start wherever you like. Sealy like these are a common sight in the mountains. Returning them to their rightful places is up to you.
Race you!
It's a complex environment, so proceed with caution. It should now be possible to activate the central mechanism. Exactly what will happen when you do is something I'm looking forward to finding out.
Hey!
Oh, seems that the water level has suddenly decreased. We should be able to see what's in the water now. Let's have a look. What's this? To the best of my knowledge, these belong to a script of some kind. They can be found all over Teyvat, but there's still a lot to learn about them. And as for why they should ever have come to... Let me make a copy first. I'll make time to go over them in greater detail.
Another thing for the don't understand list. Unsolvable mystery this, weird experiment that. It seems like if you want the reward, you gotta pay the price.
I've truly gained a lot from all this. Comparatively. Let me return to the campsite first. By the time you get back, I may just have a fleeting miracle for you to witness.
Paimon's kinda looking forward to seeing the results of all this braining. Unless you can think of anything better to do, let's head back to the campsite.
Not so fast. You're not leaving until I'm convinced that nothing dangerous is going on here.
You didn't...
I most certainly did not. And I've witnessed everything that you and I must say, you let your guards down. Or maybe you were drawn in by his compelling-sounding hypothesis and friendly demeanor. Taking orders from a complete stranger? Drinking anonymous potions? Participating in all kinds of strange... I'd sooner believe you were tricked than that you would be so naive. Or perhaps you were
Sister Rosaria's guard's so high, she can't even see over the top of it.
It doesn't matter what you think. He could be a saint for all you know. But I understand him I'm only concerned with one thing. Whether his alchemy has transformed you into something.
No way! Paimon would have sensed it. And anyway, he didn't even use...
With an alchemist of his level, you wouldn't sense a thing. In any case, I'm not about to let a potential threat back into Mondstadt.
So, what are you gonna do?
I've gotta hand it to you. You have your moments. If I can be sure that nothing you came into... I've investigated everything else. The only items left on the...
But we don't even know what they mean.
That much is true. Not to mention, seems like there's nothing more. But for insurance purposes, I'd better make a copy. Now then, all things considered, I deem that you pose no which is what I was hoping. I would have been one very unhappy...
Overtime?
Before we go our separate ways, Outlander, a word of advice. Don't be so quick to trust Albedo, and don't repeat the same mistakes that you did this time. You made a lot of rash decisions today.
She's gone! So stubborn. Mondstadt doesn't have many people like that. Huh. Never mind her. Let's go see Albedo! Race you!
You're back. Good timing. I've just about reached the conclusion. You took quite a while. Did you get held up on the way back? Time for the results. We got a myriad of data today. and it was very... But the integral preliminary conclusion that I can offer you is...
You couldn't tell that just by looking? We spent all day working our butts off for that?
Please, I understand that this may have seemed self-evident to you, but in fact, nothing. Have you ever considered that the world of Tevat may have a natural hostility to Outlanders? I mentioned the natural laws of this world. You're able to converse with me here without consequence, and nothing seems amiss. The only other life form that, like you, has come here from afar is the seed that I mentioned. Under the effects of Tevat's natural laws, it isn't even able to... But after I observed you, imitating you helped to inspire my alchemy. And so...
Whoa! It looks like something's appearing!
The transition from nothing into something, from shoot to stem, is not nurturing otherworldly life also nurturing the world itself?
Aww.
It would seem that that's as far as we go. A transient bloom of incomparable
Paimon thought, with all our efforts, it might have bloomed forever, and it didn't even have any fruit.
Life is a manifold tapestry of free entities. Its value shouldn't derive from how long it stays with us. Even a momentary burst is precious. A short life can be well lived. A life lived efficiently, lived to perfection. So, do you understand what I meant about us conversing here arguably being a small miracle?
Things feel a little heavy right now. Don't be sad. You've got Albedo. Paimon really wants to be your friend.
Thank you both. Even if dispelling loneliness is not essential for life, your help inspired me to discover the means to make a flower bloom. I mean that the time I've spent traveling with you in the mountains was a valuable journey for me. In the future, if the need arises, well, glad I made a point throughout of telling her how ordinary... But what was that sediment I saw forming at the bottom of the vial? It should not have been there. Those born of earth are bound by its imperfections, but those born of chalk are free of impurities. You and I are alike. If, one day, I lose control, can I rely on you to stop me?